boy, do I have a treat for you guys today. Please don't run me over. It's been a while. And I bought a whole bunch of stuff like that you guys have not seen yet, so we have some catching up to do. Oh, you already seen this guy. This is a 1978 Rabbit, and I'm not going to talk about it because this car is part of an upcoming video. It's also part of 4 things that I recently bought from Washington. So that car, this fantastic 1984 Ranger, which is very exciting, and this 1995 F-250. Just a phenomenal truck. But anyways, that is not why we're here today. This, which you have seen before, is why we are here. This is my 1980 Ford Fairmont wagon. And this car's been around for a while. I have been planning to swap this Volkswagen ABA engine, 2-liter ABA engine, into a Rabbit shell for months. And this was all like for a show that's happening in 2 weeks. I made this harness, it runs. Actually, you know what? While we're here, let's just fire it up. This lead is like the key that would turn on the ECU. You can hear the throttle body hum. This puppy's online. This lead is the starter. Yeah, it's really loud. But honest to God, it runs great. You can rev it up, it charges, I mean, everything works. I paid 150 bucks for this thing from the junkyard, which is super cool, super cheap. Transmission, wiring, literally everything you see here was $150. I have not touched the engine at all. I sprayed it off and I brought it in here. That was it. So, the deal with the car fell apart, so I don't have a project to do in the next 2 weeks for this show. So it's a Mark I specific show, but I'm thinking about taking this. If you're unfamiliar and haven't seen this thing before, let me bring you up to speed. This is a 1980 Ford Fairmont wagon. The ultimate malaise era. This thing is the most generic looking station wagon that Ford could have conjured up in the late 70s. And it was an economy car. And because it was an economy car, it was not fit with the best engine option from the factory. In fact, a 200 straight 6 that barely ran. Look at the inside of this thing. Awesome blue interior. Super sick. Blue interior. Bench seat, front and rear, carpet's falling apart. This was a desert car, so it's fairly baked. See, the dash is exploded. But original 4-speed, 206. And when we got to this car, we drove it around town in the video. It barely ran, it barely drove. It was just terrible. So we blew it apart, and I shipped out this 302 that my brother rebuilt and a T5 transmission. So basically a Fox body drivetrain. This is a high output 302, and the transmission is out of a 3.8 SN95 Mustang, but I changed the bell housing and the input shaft to the correct dimension of the Fox body. So it took a lot of configuring, but this thing is essentially a Fox body drivetrain. The engine runs great, the transmission shifts great, everything's in order, but the car had some issues by the time we got it back to Ohio. And that was really just because we only had 3.5 days to do the swap. There was one thing I didn't account for, and that was the paperwork got a little screwed up on the car. So there wasn't really a title, but that took like 6 months to get resolved, and in the meantime, this engine stopped running. Now this is a carbureted engine. It wasn't originally, but it is now. And unfortunately, I bought the cheapest Jags HEI that I could get my hands on. It was $200. And yes, it got us home without a problem. But after it sat, this thing just wouldn't start. It would crank and crank and crank, wouldn't do a damn thing. Like it had zero ignition. So I pulled the cap off, tested the ignition module, and it failed. So replaced it, fired right up. So that was all that was wrong with it. It's like a $15 piece. Now that it's been sitting, the carburetor isn't as happy as it used to be. So I think I know why. I haven't pulled anything apart yet, but just looking at the filter, it's rusty and muddy and nasty, and unfortunately that is not the first filter in the system. There's one back by the tank before the pump, and that's the secondary filter before the carburetor. I actually had to build an exhaust for it because that was a big thing that we kind of hurried through to get this thing on the road and get it home to Ohio. We took long tubes, Jags, long tube headers, stabbed them on the engine, and built a very short X pipe into cherry bombs, and it dumped right before the rear axle. And that was okay, but it droned so badly, this thing was just a nightmare. So I bought this set of Mac headers off of Facebook, and then I bought a pre-made stainless X pipe from a company out of New Jersey. I couldn't use an off-the-shelf Fox body catback exhaust because the wagon has a different floor pan and the fuel tank is offset. It's on the passenger side behind the axle. So there's really only room for one pipe over the axle on the driver's side. So what I did was something I saw on the "If You Squint, It's Mint" Facebook page, where a guy had an X pipe that he immediately wired back together into a single pipe over the axle and out the back of the car. And to be honest, it sounds really, really good. So I'm stoked about that. Very little drone. And when you smash the gas, it sounds awesome. The other problem with the car, and this is becoming more of an issue as the year progresses and it gets colder outside, there is no heat. And Fox bodies are notorious for leaking heater cores, and generally that's a real bitch because you have to pull the dash out, and these early cars are like, the dash turns into razor blades. Cut your hands up, they're just a nightmare to do. But this is an original non-AC car, which is an absolute saving grace, and I'll show you why. The non-AC models are accessible through the glove box hole. I already have it pulled out. So if you pop these screws off, you can just pull the heater core right out this hole without ever touching the dash, which is amazing. So that's what we're gonna do. The other thing, I do have the appropriate lines that go from the pump that ride right here alongside the intake. And that kind of just pipes our hot coolant to the back of the engine. And then I have these hoses, which are non-AC heater core hoses. So something like that. I figured I'll figure out where they go when the pipes are in place, but something to that effect. You know, I don't know. I've discovered problemo number uno. The temp knob is seized. The cable's seized up. Right there. I'm gonna have to squirt some juice in there and see if I can't. I'm gonna break it if I start jamming on that. This selector works, defrost, heat, and off, but when you move it, I don't know if you can see down there, the cable is like out of its keeper. You know what? Hey, there we go. That's nothing a zip tie can't fix. Oh. Nope. Yup. It's fine. Jigs. That can live up there for now. That's clean. That's good. I don't have to completely drain the thing, but I have to get the level like below the intake manifold. Actually, that's a lie. I need it below the pump because I need to take that cap off. One of the heater hoses comes up to the hard line. I need those hard lines at this point. Ooh, it's big. It's very big. I don't think this is gonna get them off. This might require the West Virginia socket set. victory. I actually have even more concerns about fitment now. This is gonna be really close to the distributor. Like really close. And the other problem is this linkage, well, not linkage, but this little guy here on the carburetor. But if I can make that clear and that clear, this will work. Now we can test fit our hard pipes and see just how bad the fit is for real. Oh, wow, getting that started's a bit. Yeah, I'm not even sure if that's even the same thread pitch at this point. It sure looks like it is, but we can figure out if this is gonna fit, because this is what I'm actually worried about. That is not gonna fit. I just need to get 2 pieces of hose to go from the nipples to the heater core and forego all of the factory stuff. The factory Ford stuff. I wish it was OEM. Well, I didn't get everything that I wanted, but I did get a union and some heater hose that I can use in place of that hard pipe that's definitely not going to work. So I have that, and then I need a 1/2" NPT 90° 5/8 barbed fitting, which is like definitely an automotive piece. Let's see if I can find that right quick. Aha! Yes! Empty-handed. The fitting that I wanted to buy doesn't really exist locally. It does on Amazon, but I think after buying some pieces parts, even if I had this as one solid piece, I wouldn't really be able to thread it into the manifold because it hits it. This is not the correct way to cut heater hose, in case you're curious. I do it this way because I don't have the correct tools. The world's finest Chinese hose clamps. Now the problem is the nipple on the water pump is easily 3/4 of an inch. And this hose is not 3/4 of an inch, it is 5/8. And a little bit of silicone spray. Ooh. Oh. 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 I got it, but I don't know if I can get it on the rest of the way. Of course, it doesn't fit where the dam, but... This was supposed to be a simple job. I don't know why this always turns into a disaster. I have too many tools for the radiator. The radiator is at capacity. Well, it clears, so I think we might be good here. I need to set it to roughly cylinder 1, which is here. Huh. Yeah, that. Yeah, so everything just fits, so that's awesome. I was hoping that would be the case. Oh my god. Okay, so I just pulled the cable out, and this is the one that was locked up, and naturally it's the temperature control. So it moves this arm right here, which directs air over the heater core. Or not. You can't move it with vice grips at all. I mean, this thing is like a rock. Like a rock. It's crazy. You can kind of twist it but it's still like rock solid. Oh no. No, I just snapped it. No. No. Damn you, shitty cables from the 80s. Whatever. Get stuff moved around. Whip it. Whip it real good. All right, Ranger, you're next. Couple pumps. This thing is carbureted. Oh, excellent. Idling pretty fast. This truck has the slowest steering of anything I've ever owned. I've never had a non-power steering Ranger, and this is quite the experience. Oh, no! What are you doing? No! That is not all four. It's just misfired like a bitch. Hey, whoa! Simmer down, buddy. Simmer down. I need to get some water. Water! Are we taking guesses on if this thing starts? I sure hope so, because I don't feel like walking! Yeah! Yeah! Boxes, packing material. Ow! Oh, that hurt. Damn it. I love digging out cars. This thing's only been in here for like, I don't know, a few weeks. Okay, I can pull it forward. Ooh, is that the sound of a hot rod? This is when she rolls away on me. This stuff is like electric green.
You have really nice cars.
Oh, thank you. Poor kids don't know what good cars are. Let's give her a little more timing. I have no idea where it actually is. Oh, okay. I have no idea where the timing is. We'll just lock it down there for a minute. This engine is exceptionally loud for moment of truth. Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, it's blowing shit out of it. No. Yes. She's only at like $1.50. Oh, it's nice. That is perfect. Now, since I broke the cable, I'm gonna have to operate this guy by hand. So that's no heat. Okay, yeah. Cools right up. That's full heat. Oh yeah. I mean, hey, it works. And this is floor. Oh, that's great. Low, medium. Yeah, that's awesome. Sweet. Sorry I'm late. I was at home edging. I just didn't want to come. Oh, the heat. It's like 35 degrees this morning, and we're gonna go for a little cruise, enjoy the heat, grab some coffee, talk about the future of this car, and what's next. Bot shift! That's really annoying. Part of the window sweep on this side is just missing. There's air blowing around this glass. Ugh. Yes! This thing has really long legs, so to wind this engine out means you're going fast. Honestly, much faster than any of the VWs that I have, especially the VWs with the close ratio 5 speeds, where you can hammer all 5 gears and you're going like 55. This is a little bit different. Because at the end of your hammering, you usually do it about 90. And that is not a legal speed. Yeah, honestly, if that was quiet, this would be a much more enjoyable ride. Oh God, it's quieter with the window cracked. I don't think my tailpipe is quite long enough, because with the window cracked, it just sucks the exhaust right back into the cabin. So I'm getting gassed out just with the window cracked like 2 inches. So that sucks. Original plan was to go get a coffee, but I'm afraid that I don't have a cup holder, so I'm gonna have to like put it between my legs and shift and not spill hot coffee all over my dip. One of my goals for this car was to refit the factory fuel injection on this engine. I have the manifold, that's where those hard lines that didn't end up fitting this thing came from. So I could put it back together. I could make this thing a better runner, a better driver with fuel injection, but the hard thing is tearing apart a car that already runs and really doesn't run all that bad. At 60 miles an hour, it's relatively quiet, and you're probably wondering, James, how do you know how fast you're going? I don't, but I'm guessing. It's right before the exhaust starts to drone in 5th gear is right around 60, or close enough. Yeah, 5 degrees. No wonder this thing was kind of sluggish. That gets us up to like 12. This car smells so bad I died! Oh yeah, it definitely has more ass. Oh, brakes! Off-roading. Ooh, ooh, she's so soft. So in conclusion, the 1980 Ford Fairmont wagon, the car that we revived and saved from a reservation out in Washington, lives on. It runs, it drives, it's legal, it has a full exhaust, although it does smell really, really bad. The car is a car. And honestly, I'm pretty stoked with it, but I don't really know what's next, because this car is not really, it doesn't really fit in with my garage. Although I love it, I go to a lot of European car shows and stuff like that where this car doesn't make sense. I mean, I'm planning to drive it to a rabbit show because I don't know what else to do with it. I don't know what else to take it to. Autocross, drag racing. I would rather autocross it, but it's so far from being autocrossable with its solid rear axle and terrible suspension and cheap-ass tires, and it's so far from that. It's just a good driver at this point, so I'm not really sure what to do with it. But anyways, thanks. Here it is. It runs, it drives, it lives. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.